Welcome to an episode of the ChargeWay podcast. I am here today with some special guests. We have Felipe Schardong.
Hi, guys.
Fran. Actually, don't know how to say your last name, Fran.
Pinheiro.
And Caitlin Chondros. We are talking today about our experience up at the Torian Pro. So this happened, I'm going to say a number of days ago because I don't know exactly how long, but it's been a little while. We've kind of like recovered physically from the comp, emotionally, maybe not so much, but we'll see how we're going. And we're going to have a bit of a chat today about our preparation for the comp, how we found the actual event itself, our lead up to it, and any future plans that we might have as well. So I'm going to kick off to Fran.
Yeah.
Let's go. Take us away today. Fran is the one asking the questions. So
yeah, this is really, guys, nice because I don't know if everyone that is listening, watching know how big Torian Pro is here in Oceania, in Australia. Basically, I think that is one of the biggest comp throughout the year.
The biggest.
It's the biggest. Like even the individuals, you kind of secure a spot to the games. That is the biggest competition in CrossFit world. So this is really nice that all of you got your spot, not to the CrossFit Games, but a Torian. And it requires a lot of dedication. And I think that we can start talking about that. Alice, you first. When started your journey as an athlete? Like not just in CrossFit, but like you started CrossFit and then, I really like that. I want to dedicate it more time, more effort. I want to be an athlete one day. When did it started?
It was definitely during CrossFit. I think about 6 months or so into my journey, there was someone at the gym who said, wow, you could like actually make it to regionals. It was back that long ago, guys, regionals days. You could make it to regionals and like you could try compete there. And I was like, what are you talking about? I just kind of like turning up. So I kind of started to develop a bit of an idea of what competitive CrossFit was like. Started following the games, following like the Australian athletes, and really kind of like back then I definitely didn't dedicate myself to it as much, but probably around 2016, 17 was like really like dedicated, started like tracking macros, started training a lot, and really kind of focused on, I want to make it to that, call it semi-finals level.
By the way, how many hours are you dedicating like by 2017 to training?
Look, it varied a bit, but I definitely increased over time. So probably started with kind of like definitely like one class a day, and then started adding some extras to that. So like 1.5, 2 hours, and over time built up to about 4 hours a day.
Oh, amazing.
Most days.
And you, Kelly, how was this start for you as an athlete?
I think my first experience of doing any kind of CrossFit competition was the Open, which was pretty cool. And I didn't really understand the progression from the Open to quarterfinals to semis to games. So I think my first Open was just understanding that, and sort of similar to Alice, started following some of the Australian athletes and understanding how people got a ticket to the games, and sort of seeing that for the first time on TV and being like, whoa, that's really cool. And I guess once you've done the Open once, it kind of just sparks something in you to try and be better the next year and the next year, the next year, and it kind of has just progressed like that.
Oh, nice. How about you, Felipe?
In CrossFit, I gotta get closer. in CrossFit, I would say roughly 7 to 8 years ago. So this was after I left high school. I finished high school. And not I left, I finished. And because I was doing track and field, and I stopped doing that after I left high school. I needed to find something else for me to do. And I was kind of already joining the CrossFit thing in my city at a time, which was not CrossFit, but
that was type.
Yeah, type CrossFit, functional fitness. I'll put like that.
Pretend CrossFit.
Yes.
This is not about in this podcast. Please move on.
And I guess I just fell in love with because I was able to see how much your body can do, like how much you were able to progress and stuff. I never got stuck at some point, at least the beginning. Of course, over the years, that's developed and the progress is slower, but still happens. And I guess that's it.
Like, Felipe, I know that since the beginning, you were kind of competitor when you were younger as a teenager in track and field. When you started CrossFit, did you know that, like, oh, I want to be a competitor here as well? Or like, I like this for fun. And then there was some moment that like, I want to start competing.
I always knew, I guess, that competition is one thing I always wanted to do. But at that time, was little comps at my city or the closest cities that happening. At that time, I never thought about it going through with it in the major levels like quarterfinals, open, and stuff like that. I think I done my first official open in 2021 or 22 maybe, which was
it's a shame. It's a shame.
Several,
not together.
Several years later. So I guess I just started to think about it at that point.
Okay, nice. And like talking more about Torian, Alice, what do you think that requires to get to this level? Like, doesn't matter what kind of comp division you are, like if you are in pairs there was, or teams or individual, because everyone there is in a high level. Of course, a little bit different, but everyone has a high level of fitness. In terms of training, dedication, what do you think that requires to be there? Because it's not your first time, right?
No.
No, yes.
No. A lot. It requires a lot. So you kind of, I guess, like when you first like set your sights on these competitions, I kind of find that you do kind of go all in. It's like you look at what you're eating, you look at how much you're sleeping, you look at how much water you're drinking every day, you look at what you're doing for training, you do the training as best as you possibly can. You make sure that you're prepared for it to do the training. Like everything kind of goes into that, and it does kind of like encompass your life. And that's not a bad thing. Like if you want to compete at that high level, it kind of has to, because you're competing against everyone else who's doing that as well. That doesn't mean that you don't have a job. That doesn't mean that you're not doing other things as well. Like it's not your entire life, but it takes up a fairly large portion of it. But yeah, to kind of get to that level to begin with, you're kind of, it almost, for me, it felt like I was playing catch up to everybody else. So it was like whenever there was like a holiday or a public holiday or a moment where I was like, hey, other people aren't training now, and yet I am. I was like, yes, that's kind of the mentality that you go into it with, is like, this is my time to catch up to everybody else who's in front of me. You've got to go super hard at your strengths because you want to have something like that you can kind of pull out of the bag, but then you also have to really work hard at closing your weaknesses. There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, this is really nice, and like you guys were together in the first time at Torian, right? Like you guys were in a team at Torian?
Alice went one other time without me.
No.
As in 2 years ago?
Yeah, the first time that you went to Torian. You went
so
more
I've
than twice?
competed as a pro pair.
Oh,
and
okay.
then I competed on a pro am team, and then this year as a pro team.
Oh, so you went to
pro
Torian
elite
3
team.
times.
Yeah, I think I've competed 3 times at Torian.
Oh,
and then once at Down Under.
This is really...
Twice at Down Under.
Twice and then out.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're gonna talk about that one in a minute. But like, I know that one of these times that you guys competed together twice.
Yeah.
Twice as a team.
Yeah.
And this for you, Kayleen, because you are more recent in CrossFit than Alice. How was your first experience at Torian in a team compared to your second one?
I was really surprised when you guys asked me to be on the team the first time, because it was Alice, Scott, and Luke, who I don't think you know, but they were like a really strong team and people that I looked up to and was like, oh, I wish I could do what they do one day. And I got asked to be a part of this team, and I was on one hand super excited and grateful for the opportunity, but also really scared because I knew like I was the weak link, or like I wasn't going to be able to do the same things as Alice could do or Scott could do or Luke could do. And I was very aware of that. And I think the second time round, although I know I have similar weaknesses that I've tried to close, like it was really nice to have moments where 2 years ago I couldn't handstand walk at all and it cost us a final, and now I did 90 meters of handstand walking in a workout, which is like.
I just want to clarify, it definitely didn't cost us the final because you got further than I would have got. So like, please don't put that pressure on yourself that it was you holding us back then, because I wouldn't have even got to the handstand walk. Those damn 22.5 kilo dumbbell bench press. What? What? Seriously.
Yes, and it's really nice if everyone knows about that, because I think that mainly for the members of a gym that huge shout out to Charge CrossFit, because everyone was there cheering for you guys, and it was amazing because seeing you from there, like from the seats, you were like rock stars. But I think that most people, they don't know what was behind that. Like 2 years ago when you were on the same spot, basically 3 of the same original team, Scott, you, Alice, and Kayleen, and then see you how much you guys improve, and with all changes in your personal life and still able to compete in high level. This is really, really cool. And now for you, Felipe, because I know that you were supposed to go in a team with these guys. I think that everyone knows a little bit. There is some gossips around, and then you went as
ditched us.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And like they have pieces with you, and everyone knows that. But I think that is nice for you to tell everyone what actually happens and how you end up in the individual division.
All right.
You paid some money, right?
Oh yeah. So originally we were a team, us 3 and plus Scott. So very grateful for you guys to understand in that position I was. And I was invited, like, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks before Torian, to go in this, because someone must have pulled out or stuff, and I was close to the cut line. So I got called, and this was like a surprise because I wasn't think this is gonna happen. I think neither you guys. And it was just exciting. I really can't explain. It was a really, really good, how can I say that? It's a good thing. It's a good thing that happened.
Yeah, and this is really nice.
Yeah.
And when you got there in the warm-up area with all the individual athletes that everyone knows that, like, famous, and my goodness, how was this feeling? Like, you don't need to describe it words, but how was that for you?
It was cool. Like, I mean,
Let's go.
Yeah.
My side.
I was doing my thing, but of course I was excited to see Claire, to see Guy, to see the other guys there that I followed and always look for. So it was pretty exciting, but I kept cool, so I don't be expelled from the warm-up area.
So no selfies?
No selfies. I regret that.
Now talking more specific about Torian, there was a workout for you, Alice, and probably I know this answer, but I would like that people know that as well. There was like, oh my God, this is super challenging. And
which one? There's a few.
Yeah, like this one is the most challenging thing that I ever faced, or like I'm feeling that I'm not gonna be able to do this. And how you went through that? Like, could you tell us a little bit this experience?
Yeah, so Fran's talking about the last workout. It was called the final. Otherwise, we could talk about the first workout with the bar muscle ups too. But yeah, the last workout, the final. So it was a 30-meter farmer's carry, followed by, for me, 9 ring muscle ups, and then followed by another 30 meters of farmer's carry. So we found out what the object was as heat 1 was going before us. So we didn't have any idea kind of what it would be. We kind of had an inkling it would be farmer's handles, but the specific kind of farmer's handles was a bit of a surprise. And the weight was also a surprise. It wasn't what they told us. I don't know if we just did the maths wrong or like it just was different. They're like, oh, you guys can have this weight. So it was a weight that I'd actually like not lifted before in my life. And yeah, I kind of, I saw Caitlin going and was like, shit, like it's super wobbly. You can't walk in a straight line. Like the way that they were designed just doesn't suit my shoulders. If I had Felipe's type shoulders, maybe it'd be a bit better. But yeah, it definitely was a huge challenge, and I kind of just had to go up to it and be like, cool, like forget everything else, forget how you're feeling, forget what's going on around you. Like you kind of can like hear the background noise. Thank you for everyone who was cheering. Thank you for whoever said take the chalk with you on the way back. Much appreciated. And it was just like turn everything else off and just attempt to do as best you can. And when I made it, like you kind of were taking like, I don't know, a couple of steps at a time. I haven't actually watched it back yet, but I do want to. And yeah, a couple of steps at a time, and you kind of like, okay, cool, reset. It's okay. Just keep going. My judge was super helpful on the farmer's carry actually, because on the way back there was like, it became very clear that I wasn't going to make it to the finish line. But he's like, hey, just get as many sections as you can, because each section counts. And I think I got 1.5, which only counts as one, which I think is unfair. But, you know, still a little bit off the end. So, yeah, that was possibly the hardest workout that I've ever done. It felt very isolated out on the floor. Like I've wanted to compete as an individual before. I'm glad I'm not competing as an individual anymore. Power to you. Like, woo, yay, go Felipe. I don't want to. And workouts like that where it's, you know, it's being broadcast online. It's like you've got the whole crowd watching you. The cameraman is literally right there because we were in just the end lane. So, you know, and it was really quite confronting being like, hey, I don't have this. But it still was like, cool, I don't have this. And now what? Are you going to just like walk out, or are you going to like actually just turn around and go, just do what you can and keep trying? And, you know, I've seen the little clip at the end where the clock's counting down from 10 and I'm still readjusting the like farmer's handles because I couldn't fit in between anymore after where I put them down. And I still pick them up at 3 seconds to go, knowing that there's no way that I can get even to the next section, but I knew that I still had to try.
Yeah, this is so nice because, again, what is your PB for deadlifts?
110.
And how heavy was that?
Unknown. It was kind of somewhere between like 134 and 140.
Yeah, so like, look at how heavy it was compared to what you can deadlift. And you're able to do the whole section, doing the way the ring muscle up, and you almost finish on the way back. Yeah. So this was really nice to see. Yeah. And for you, even that you don't know that, but for all of us that we know you and you were watching you, cheering for you, we were like, you got it, because and like, even that you had this moment that you were thinking like, oh, I'm failing with myself, or I'm not going to be able to do that. For me, until the last second, you would be able to. You start running with the carry. It was really nice. And how about you, Kayleen? What was this moment for you? Which workout was more challenging for you?
None.
That
I can't do maths on pound plates.
I think this is nice to share.
We got told in our brief for our lifting event that we were going to have to use pound plates instead of kilo plates, which was fine. And Alice and I were like, we'll do some maths and we'll figure out our jumps and it will all be fine. Anyway, because it was really wet and our warm-up area basically got rained out, we weren't sure if we were going to get to warm up or not. So the lifts that we had planned out, we needed to make more lifts than that basically to warm up. Luckily we sort of got 4 minutes or so extra to like touch a barbell and do a few like of the cleans and the jerks. And then the clock started and I quickly realized that the plan that I thought that we had was not a very good plan. Not that it wasn't a good plan, but that I hadn't thought out exactly which colored plates needed to go on when.
We also were under the assumption that we didn't have the equivalent 5 kilo plates because that wasn't in the warm-up, that wasn't on the floor earlier in the day. So they'd only brought them over. So we were doing all this maths to try to go, all right, how do we go from here to here without 5 kilo plates? And it was, it was bad.
Yeah. And then we had 5 kilo plates. And I ended up at 82.5, which felt quite good. And I was like, cool, I'll go up. And I wanted to put a set of green plates on, and Scott was like, that'll get you to 88, which I'd never power cleaned or hand cleaned or jerked before. So I was like, that's probably a terrible idea. So I decided to take all the plates off and put a new set of plates on, which I was thinking in my head was 85, and it turns out it was 82 and a half again.
In your head, it was a better idea.
Better. And as I was lifting, I was like, wow, this feels exactly the same as so yeah, it's like, it's all learning, and like the next comp that we do that has pound plates, I will have a much better plan in place.
Yeah, and how about you, Felipe?
The most challenging one?
Yeah.
All of them, I guess. I mean, all of them were hard, but I guess I would say where I got more exposed was the first one, because my running hasn't been so good since my knee injury. So I have been running quite well, and I'm getting back to it. So yeah. I guess
I'm getting back to it.
Yeah, not yet.
Doing more now.
Yeah, it's starting to do more running now.
What do you have in your knee? Like, I think that most of people, they don't know.
I don't know either, because I haven't done the scan yet. But seems like to be an torn meniscus, which it's not so bad because I still can do things. It's just the impact that it's a little bit annoying, and some really, really down depth squats. But that's it. The rest I can do it, so it's not completely taking me off of the training and stuff.
So just to clarify, you have most likely a torn meniscus. And what was the heaviest weight that you squat cleaned?
In the comp?
In the comp?
In the comp was 147, I guess. Yes.
And I still can do things. Like, let's reframe things. But the things that I can do is not like that, Felipe. But I think that this workout was really challenging, like not just for you, but for every individual athlete that were running 4 rounds of 1K. How was for you? Because you were in the last in your heat, and for us that were watching, like, where's Felipe? And how was this feeling for you? Because the guys are starting with a really strong pace, and you were like there, a really hard pace, and you were there, like you need to keep quite like easy.
Yeah,
how was this
I'm very cool with that, because I know I cannot run like those guys run, so I just kept my plan of running a little bit slower than that. Try to make up the muscle ups unbroken, which I did. It was great. And sandbags as well, which was pretty hard because 90 kilos is really heavy. It's really heavy.
I think a different word was about to come out there.
But yeah, my heart rate was really high. It's hard to breathe. But it was a great workout in the end of the day.
It was a really nice test of fitness, running with gymnastics and with weightlifting. And with the bag, like you said, 90 kilos is really heavy. But with the bag, it's just a weird way to hold the weight as the carry. Do you think that there is more related to the object, or is more about the weight? Or like the way that you need to hold the object with running?
I guess it's both, because like you have to hold it against your chest, which prevents you from breathing properly. It's just a bad position to hold a bag that weight. So yeah, it's a combination of both.
Yeah. And now changing a little bit the subject, because we are talking about challenging and the hardship throughout the comp. And Alice, which workout do you feel like, oh my God, I'm still on shape, I still can do that. Yeah, I want to come back. Maybe this feeling, like, which workout was that for you?
I think for me it was the 30 snatches for time. It was 150 double unders and then 30 snatches for time, and the snatches was synchro with a partner. I felt super strong during that workout, which was funny because, again, there was no warm up. The warm up area was flooded. It was kind of that one was like, wow, this actually feels way better than I thought it would feel, and that's a really nice feeling.
And you, Kaylee?
I would say our first event had 10 bar muscle ups in it with some rowing, and we had worm squats. I had never done 10 bar muscle ups in a row, let alone in a workout, and we had tried it on the Sunday a week before with the whole team, but we sort of only did like 2 or 3 rounds, and we were kind of going at it, but also sort of resting in between. So I was really interested to see if under intensity that was going to hold up for me. And we made a small mistake with our partners. So there was some added pressure of doing synchro muscle ups with Scott instead of Josh, which was fine. It was just all happened in the moment and we made it work. But I was pretty proud of being able to do the 4 sets of 10 unbroken.
Yeah, after rowing, because for you guys was rowing, not running. So we need to emphasize that with this extra pull, the muscle ups is coming a little bit harder. Yeah, you can feel that a little bit more.
Yeah. I definitely did not hold on for 4 sets of 10. Caitlin, like, that was huge. That was so incredible to watch and to, like, cheer you on from behind and be like, oh shit, it's my turn. You just crushed it. And then to like all 4 sets of those bum muscle ups unbroken. Like, I remember a time when you were getting like 1 bum muscle up at a time and you couldn't work out how to link them.
Yep.
I
remember
that. The progress you've made so much so quickly.
I feel like, when did I get muscle ups? Maybe just over a year ago.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago, yeah.
Yeah, but this is really nice. 1 year ago, she was getting the first muscle up, and now she is able to do 4 sets of 10 muscle ups in a comp after rowing and with squats.
Yeah.
So even that is a really fast time for average people. Like, you're putting the work. You were training a lot. And like, how are you training now, Kaylin? Because I know that people are seeing you at the gym, doing classes, doing extras. Could you tell us a little bit more about how was your training until Torian? Like, mainly about around the open until Torian. How did you manage to do that?
So depending on what we had coming up, so the open and then into qualifiers and then into Torian, I was doing the class when it made sense, which was basically every day, and I might have changed elements of the class. So if we had like knees to elbows, that's not something that really comes up in a comp setting. I might change that to toes to bar, or I might change it to chest to bar, or something that I felt like I needed to work on. And then on top of like little tweaks that happen within the class, I was doing extras to work on weaknesses of mine. So for me, that is mostly like pure strength, so extra squatting, deadlifting, pressing, and particularly like upside down pressing, so handstand push-ups has been something that I've worked on a lot, which is slowly coming along, very slowly.
And I think that this is really nice to bring to this discussion, because most of people, they think that when you want to be a competitor or an athlete, you need to do your special program. And probably one day you're going to do your specific needs to improve. But everyone starts with CrossFit classes. So you need to get good at CrossFit classes with good technique. And then you're going to start increasing the volume, putting some extras like, I need to work a little bit more in my strength, a little bit in double unders or handstand walk-ins. And then after all this process, as you said, Alice, that was basically your journey, you're going to put more hours in and maybe train outside the class, but not these first or instead of the class, because I think that is this misunderstanding most with CrossFit Games athlete that is less than 1% of the world that you see them training in their garage, like, I want to be like Rich Froning, you're going to do that. So we need to remember that most of the times, training alone is not fun. And like, I think that the biggest example is here by my side, because Felipe just trains whatever he needs to train, like since ever. But you started with CrossFit classes, I know that.
Yes.
So how was this shifting for you? Like, how did you shift to your own thing? And why did you make this decision?
I don't think I even remember when I changed it, but it was around 2021, I guess. I did CrossFit classes and all that till then. And then I started to like getting around, see how the programmings were, especially in Brazil where we were at that time. And from that, I start looking until I find myself in a good programming where I stick for a while, and that's it.
And now about the good workout for you in a Torian, like when you find the good programming and you put the work in a Torian,
Yes.
What was your favorite?
My favorite was definitely the ski snatch burpee one, because it was the most surprising one for me.
Crushed it.
I'm not good at burpees at all.
You are. You are now.
It's getting better, handstands and burpees. But yeah, like I was very surprised because I tested that workout at the gym and I did not finish. I did not finish at the Torian as well, but I came really close to that. I missed one burpee. With some changes we had, the dumbbell was slightly heavier, moving the box and stuff like that, that I didn't do at the test. So this was quite surprising and I very much loved the workout. Even I was dying then.
Yeah, I think that is not supposed to be good at the end. Like it's gonna be after, really after, but not at the right moment. Changing a little bit the subject, guys, because was 3 days intense of 2 workouts per day.
Yes.
No, yeah, most of the times was 2 workouts per day. How was your nutrition on these 3 days? A little bit of lollies, but like how you were able. I know the answer because I was with you guys, but most of people that are at home or watching or listening us, they don't know. Alice, I think that you can start with. Like, because you have a lot of restriction in your nutrition, and I don't know if people don't know that, so like, would be nice to share.
Yeah. Gosh, there were some amazing food trucks. Wouldn't recommend. Probably should have been slightly more prepared with food, honestly. But I also find it really hard to eat on comp days, and I know that about myself. So I knew that going in. So I'd like done a huge shop of snacks and just like lots of like carbs and like quick carbs kind of things. Lots of baby food. Rice cakes, all the fun stuff you get to eat on comp days. During the day, it really depended on how much time there were between events. So like on the last day, there was not a lot of time between our events. So the food was more of like baby food and rice cakes and kind of drinks with carbs to try and get energy in again before going into that last event. On the other 2 days, it was a little bit longer. So there was one day where I did have some protein pancakes from a lovely food truck there, which was amazing. They tasted so good. Usually I save that until after we'd finished competing because like, I don't know. During the day, it's like focus on quick carbs, focus on food that you don't need to digest a lot. So low fiber kind of things. Fruits are good. But just kind of keep it pretty simple.
And you, Kelly, are you a celiac?
Yeah.
So how was that for you? Because you can with food trucks. You can, but like it's a little bit more challenge. It's complicated.
Yeah. That stuff definitely goes through my mind being celiac. Like when we eat out, I'm obviously always very careful, but when we're like competing or there's something on the line where like, I mean, I never want to get sick, but definitely don't want to get sick at stuff like that. So I mean, obviously go to the effort of telling the people who have the food trucks or where we're going to dinner, like, hey, I'm celiac, can you make a note, blah, blah, blah. I think the thing that I've learnt from like local comps and even things like Torian is that I'll try to eat as much normal food as I can before we start. So like we had a pretty normal breakfast, like eggs and toast and like fruit and things like that. And then during the day, sort of similar to Alice, like I don't always feel very hungry, so I find it difficult to eat even though I know I have to eat. So it was anything that like seemed appealing or that I could get in really easily. So like baby food, Gatorade, apricot bites, like rice cakes, like anything that I felt like was going to be easy to get in. And then once we finished competing, it's like, cool, I want to get in normal food again. So we had like pasta and mince from leftover dinner and things like that, and sort of refuel again for the next day.
Yeah, this is really nice. And you, Felipe, that you eat 5,000 calories a day. And it still is so shredded. I think that everyone in this call was waiting for you.
I'm with the girls on that one. On comp days and the days before, it's carbs. Yeah. And a little bit less of protein, I would say. So you don't get too heavy as well. I don't deal well with having heavy food as well. So if I'm close to an event, if I have more time, that's okay. But if not, I rather just eat some carbs and.
Can you say what is more time for us? Like what is close and more time?
2 hours plus, I can have a normal meal like pasta, mince, chicken, whatever. But closer to that, I rather have some fruits, honey, peanut butter, stuff that will keep me light and still give me energy to do the workouts.
And this is really nice share about nutrition, guys, because I think that some people think that the only way that you can get to this level you have something that is not allowed to, like drugs.
What do you mean?
Where is she going with this? I'm so confused.
I saw Alice with the question mark, and even because Felipe, he opened a question box in his Instagram this week, and there was a question: do you take steroids? And some people think that this is the only way that you can get there, like just training, lots of volume, and having a little bit of drugs, a little bit of drugs, and like you can do that. And this kind of leads to my next question, because all of you is not your main thing being an athlete, and Alice, you that is in the long game here, like 10 years already in CrossFit, more than that. 12, like 12, yeah. Competing a lot of experience. You had a lot of kind of different moments through your professional life as well. What do you do say that, okay, how can a person that wants to be like you guys can manage a routine? Like, I have this really busy professional life. I want to achieve this thing, but also I want to be an athlete. I want to be at this competitor level. What kind of advice you would give?
I feel that when you want to be the competitive athlete, what is in your control, you control as much as you can. So if that means that you're meal prepping your food, 95% of the week, because that's going to support your training and then your professional life as well, like whatever you're doing for your job or your career, like you need to control what you can control, because there's going to be moments where you can't, and knowing that you've put the effort in then allows you to handle those moments where things don't go to plan much easier, because you've done enough to kind of stick to the plan. So like for a long period of time, I had a job that was quite intensive. I was probably working about 10 hours a day. And I was training morning and evening just to fit the training in. I was like, cool, that's what I do. That's what I do. Monday to Friday, I'm training morning and evening. I go to my job. Like, I didn't have any other commitments. And then there are times when you kind of ebb and flow throughout life, so it's not always the same for a period of time. So where I'm at the moment, I'm doing my one class a day, and sometimes I do extras. Sometimes I'll join in with Caitlin doing some extras. Sometimes I'll do an extra session like barbell or gymnastics. It really depends on where my day is gone, and training and competing at that high level isn't the end goal anymore, whereas it used to be. So for me, it was like you kind of got into it post-COVID. For me, it was pre-COVID. That was like everything was like geared towards compete, and be at that high level. Once you kind of get past that hill, coming down the other side, it's much easier to actually maintain staying at that relatively high level. There's definitely some things where I'm not where I was anymore, and that's totally fine. Like, that's not my goal anymore. And my goal is to be as fit and as healthy as I can be without it taking up more than maybe an hour and a half each day, because I don't have the time. Like, I have other commitments in life, the gym, many other things going on right now. It's super exciting. It's a really exciting time, but that does take a lot of effort and a lot of brain power, and I can't dedicate as much time to training as I used to. But that doesn't mean that when I'm there and in the class, I'm zoned in and focused. And like, I know you've said, you've got like game face on when you're training. I'm like, yeah.
Crazy eyes. Yeah, it's the crazy eyes.
So kind of like once you've done the work, it's much easier to maintain than catching up, as I kind of mentioned previously.
Yeah, this is really nice because you guys are in a very different spots. And this is the reason that I start the question with you. That leads the next question to Kaylin, because different than Alice, was the first time that you actually, you were there, you were maybe in your best performance ever. And what would you say to yourself 2 years ago? And what this experience makes actually you keep going? Is this a thing for you, like motivating you to actually achieve your next one? Tell us a little bit about it.
I think that that's the most rewarding part about doing competitions is that every time you do one, it sort of lights this fire to sort of pull you into the next one, or like you just want something that's better and bigger for yourself. And when we competed at Torian 2 years ago, like I remember being like, oh, I would really love to get back here. And we sort of tried the following year and didn't quite make it through. And like, so it was really rewarding this year when we did. I think, like Alice sort of said, I'm in the phase where I want more and I want to keep chasing those dreams. So we're sort of on opposite ends of the spectrum. So for me, that is like taking extra time to do training. And I'm a full-time CrossFit coach now, so I don't have any uni at the moment. So I can sort of structure my life so that I can be in the gym twice a day, 3 times a day, whatever it needs to be. And that's something that I'm really excited to follow that journey, not just end up at the end goal. So,
yeah. And Felipe, I see you more similar to Kaylin. Also a little bit different because you have a more experience in comp than Kate. But you guys are kind of in the same path. The Alice is more working area. You were volunteer in the last 2 years in this kind of events. How was this year for you being the other side of the floor?
Simply as a dream coming true, because the last 2 years that was in Copa Sur in Brazil, it was pretty exciting to be there. As a volunteer, to know I was helping the event happen, and as how can I say, I was wishing to be one of them in there. So this was pretty rewarding being Torian this year. I guess it's simple as that. Like it's rewarding. It's nice to be there. And it's a good feeling.
And when would be the next one?
I guess we have that one there qualifying in 2 weeks. So sort of like that. And I guess it happens if I made through in October. Is that it?
Yeah, the comp's there kind of
Yes.
23rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 3 days around then.
Oh, okay.
Around that time.
yeah. This is about that wonder, guys. That probably we're gonna be there in October. Hopefully that we're gonna be there. But also, it's nice to know that you guys really like to compete, and your next comp is not next month. The qualifying is in 2 weeks,
Yes.
but still, you're not going comps every month because you want to be an athlete. So even that you want to be, kind of say small athlete, just in your gym, in local comps. Just be careful with going comps every weekend because it's a lot of stress for your body. And I have these 2 amazing examples that you need to choose the moments that you're going to put your effort in. I think that the best way to finish this podcast is actually sharing the moment that you were more proud and happy at Torian. And this can be any situation. And I would like to hear each one of you guys. Alice, you first.
I almost want to preface this by saying, Caitlin, I'm sorry I didn't actually get to see you competing apart from when I was resting. But my proudest moment was actually seeing Felipe, you on the floor. It was so exciting to be in the stands and to have your announcers the great Felipe. I was just
That's Ed's fault.
Thanks, Ed. Thanks, Kobe, as well. Appreciate it. But seeing you out there just really made us so proud and excited for you, and knowing that that's your dream, to be there, to be in that moment. That was my favorite moment of the whole weekend, of being up in the stands, just yelling as much as I can for you, and, seeing you achieve that dream. And I know that it's only just the, you're in it. It's not the beginning, but it's it's the next beginning.
Yes.
So it's starting a new chapter of the book now.
Exactly.
And that was my absolute most favorite moment, seeing you out there every time.
Oh,
6
that's
times.
so nice.
Yeah.
What was your Felipe?
That's hard. I guess was the environment itself, and how the Charge community was there, cheering for each other. We were watching the team compete. We were watching me compete, and it was just amazing to have everyone around and be able to live that moment with the Charge crew. Yes.
Huge shout out again to Charge Crew. Yeah, we are the best gym, and I'm not saying, but I'm killing you.
I mean, mine is basically the same. We got 2 events where we got to compete inside, and we sort of like got corralled out the back, and we're waiting all nervously in little lines, and we ran out, and they were like, Charge CrossFit Lane 1 or whatever, and we all ran out, which is really exciting. But to see like people's faces that we knew in the crowd, and people go, woo, Charge CrossFit, like it was so awesome. So yeah,
I have so many favorite moments. Like one that is nothing related to you guys. It was just the dance moment. I had such good time. Yeah, I was twerking and filming. I love a huge shout out to Torian. You guys did amazing event. It was really nice to watch. Really nice, not just for these athletes, but really nice for people that was just there in the crowd. We had a really nice moment. But talking more specific about us and about the community, that I think that this event is about, like about everyone that you put together for 3 days, and seeing you guys on the handstand event was really nice, because I knew the story behind in this workout that you weren't able to do handstand walking, and then I see you guys there crushing in every like section. This for me as a coach was really rewarding. See that, even that I know that I have just a small collaboration, but still you see that your athletes doing their best, and you just get so proud. And Felipe is hard to say because he's my partner, so I was seeing him living his biggest dream of his life, and my heart, I'm almost having a heart attack every workout. and like I was melting down on my chair every time that he comes out running from like to his lane, and I saw his name we're putting on the sign out there every time that they come with his heat. So I think that all these small moments, when Alicia birthday and they called her, oh, Alicia, happy birthday. So I think that all these small moments make the whole component of my favorite moments in life. So yeah, it was a really nice experience, and thank you so much for actually give us that as a community, because we wouldn't be there if it was not for you guys. So it was really nice. Thank you so much for that. And for you guys that was there supporting us, or if you were at your home watching us in any kind of any workout, we know that we really appreciate. Yeah. And that's it.
All right.
47 minutes.
ChargeWay over and out. Bye.
Bye.